It's clear the Justice Secretary was briefed on how to handle Kay Burley because she wasn't taking any nonsense from her. It's quite refreshing to see the government push back on the stupid line of questioning that Burley usually comes out with. And even Kay Burley, at the very end of the interview, says that she was thankful for her forceful answers, which I'll tag on to the end. But in true Kay Burley style, she didn't disappoint with another line of stupid questioning. The latest soapbox that the right-wing grifters are all shouting from is that a man took his own life while being imprisoned. How dare they put him in prison, they're shouting. He was a 61-year-old grandfather, they're saying. Kay Burley echoes this by trying to play down the fact that he was part of the riots, no mention of the incitement to violence or terrorising people trapped in a building, or the fact that he pled guilty when he was caught. Kay Burley seems to think that he shouldn't have gone to prison in the first place. So by her logic, if you're caught doing criminal acts, you shouldn't go to prison. It's ridiculous. After the interview and once the Justice Secretary had departed the studio, probably feeling a little bruised from her bashing she just got, she tried to have the final word with her reporter colleague. But when she backs up the government, Burley gives her a very disgusted look.
You say in the article, you wrote the article, didn't you? Only on your first day in the job did you learn about the true scale of the crisis in our jails. What was your reaction when you heard?
I was horrified. We were just one bad day from disaster, and the situation that confronted me when I walked into the Ministry of Justice on the 5th of July was truly shocking and appalling. Our prison system was on the brink of collapse.
Can you say our prisons could have run out of space at any time, which would have resulted in courts cancelling all trials and the police having to stop making arrests, which would have seen the total breakdown of law and order? Why do you say that?
Well, because if you run out prison places, that is the breakdown of law and order. You've got nowhere to put anybody coming in with a custodial sentence. If you run out of prison places, that means you either have to shut the front door into your prison system or open the back door out of your prison system. There's only those two options on the table if you run out of places.
But as the Justice Secretary, you know that the police's primary duty is to enforce the law, and they would have continued to do that.
Yes, but actually we know...
So they would have continued to make arrests.
We found out after the election, as it happens, that police chiefs themselves were writing to the former Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, saying he had to act on the prisons crisis because they were aware that actually, if we run out of prison places, that has an impact across the whole of the criminal justice system. Would have led down to the breakdown of law and order.
To say a total breakdown of law and order is hyperbole.
No, I don't accept that at all. If the police can't make arrests...
It's happened several times in the past. And there hasn't been a complete
with respect, Kay, we have never got... with respect, Kay, I won't accept that. We have never got to the acute point of crisis that I inherited when I walked in to the Justice Department. We have never been in a position where there were fewer than 100 spaces across the whole of the country in our prison system. That is an abject failure of the last Conservative government. They knew they had to act in order to ease the crisis in our prisons. They failed to act, and it fell to me to pull those emergency measures.
Two previous occasions, or several previous occasions, early 90s, late 90s, 2007, 2008, when you had to implement this as a previous Labour government. The courts still worked then, and the police still arrested people then. It's total hyperbole to say it was a total breakdown of law and order.
I don't accept that, and it was the police and other partners in the criminal justice system who were warning the last Conservative government of the necessity for this action, and the previous government failed to act. So, with respect, officers and others on the front line disagree with what you're saying as well. Those are letters that we now know were written by the Met Police chiefs and other police chiefs across the country to the previous Conservative Prime Minister, saying that he needed to act.
From the Met Commissioner to say that we were on the brink.
Well, I don't have that letter. That letter has been, other of your colleagues in the media. Yes, that is now a public letter.
Where the Metropolitan Police Chief has said that we were on the brink of total breakdown of law and order.
What they warn the last Conservative government is they have to act to avert a crisis in the prison system, because that is going to have a major impact on policing.
Including under a Labour watch.
I'm afraid I simply cannot accept the idea that what is going on now is similar to what has happened before. We're at a point of abject crisis in our prison system. We went down to fewer than 100 places, Kay, in August.
We've been over capacity before.
The last Conservative government deliberately ran the system boiling hot.
We've been over capacity before.
They ran the system boiling hot for months and months and months, and they knew that they had to take action in order to alleviate that crisis in our prison.
You talk about locking up the most serious criminals. That includes a 61-year-old man, Peter Lynch, with angina, who's previously suffered a heart attack and diabetes. He died in prison this week. He didn't have any previous convictions. He behaved appallingly during the summer riots, but he had no previous convictions. He was a poorly man. He's now died in prison. Is he the sort of person that is a serious enough criminal to be in jail?
Well, look, I don't take any death in custody lightly, and that will now be investigated, as every death in custody is, by the Prisons and Probation Ombudsman. Well, I think that actually I have to wait until that investigation is completed before I comment on the specifics of this
I'm
case.
asking you whether or not he was a serious enough criminal to find himself in jail.
Well, those are independent decisions to charge made by the Crown Prosecution Service.
But you talk about locking up the most serious criminals. It's your phraseology.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I won't comment on the specifics of that case because sentencing decisions are a matter for the independent judiciary. What we are announcing is a sentencing review in order to make sure that we can deal not just with the capacity crisis that we have in our prisons, and to make sure that no emergency releases take place ever again, but also that we do better on rehabilitation.
Taking the time and being so fulsome with your answers, always appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit Groundhog Day, though, isn't it? I do remember all of this during Tony Blair's era.
Oh, yes, many Justice Secretaries have talked about reducing reoffending, you know, trying to get the prison population under control. But I think we're at this point now where it's increased a lot. It's increasing by 4,500 people every year. The number of prison places cannot keep pace with that. And perhaps now the difference is we have technology in order to try and keep people out of prison, but still monitored. So I think obviously, all of this is going to cost money, and I think the pickings for the Justice Secretary are going to be pretty slim in next month's budget. But can they find ways to keep people out of prison but still reassure the public that they are being kept safe?
Budget on the 30th of October. Extensive coverage here on Sky News for now tomorrow.
It's pretty clear that Burley is a Tory shill and that Sky News is going downhill. It's not surprising with the way she's conducting these interviews. And you can see her doing another poor effort in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.